Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
Barry's getting better every week, everyone.
That's right. We worked in the echo for a good 40 minutes before...
we had our best sound engineers.
Right. Surrounded by couch cushions, hopefully. This helps.
There you go. He's making a fort out of his couch just for you.
Which is fun anyway, by itself.
So. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Good times.
Yeah.
Feels like it's been a very long time. We recorded last week, didn't we? Yeah.
We did. We had our friend Brian on with us last time.
Exactly. We talked about Foundation. It's renewed for season 2 already.
That was one of my random topics.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just sort of threw that out there.
It's okay. I have others. But yeah, I read today that it was renewed for season 2. So
yeah. Interesting.
I'm trying.
I
watched the second episode.
I have not. I wasn't here this weekend, so I didn't.
I actually think I like the third episode the best, and I haven't seen one since then, but I will. I'm going to stay with it.
Well, it's weekly, so the weekly things are starting to stack up.
Oh yeah, it's going to get crazy soon. So
yeah,
more
we'll
on
talk
that later.
about that.
There's a whole bunch of stuff coming. Yeah,
I mean, it's funny. I mean, Apple TV. I'm watching now. I'm watching Ted Lasso. That's almost over. I'm watching the morning show, which I'm sure you guys aren't.
It is over. You just haven't watched the end yet.
No, it was.
Well, this week was the season finale.
Oh, it was. I watched that one. Was that the season finale? No, wasn't that 11?
I thought it was 12.
Maybe
12 is out.
I thought it was. Yeah,
12 is out.
Yeah, you missed. You're just one behind, Dave. That's all.
No, I'm not one behind. I saw the one. Okay, spoilers. So
okay, I am not listening because I may watch this someday. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Confirm the episode.
It won't even be. But the final shot is
Ned. Yeah,
Ned.
Playing for the other team. Yeah.
Oh, that is. I thought there was one more.
I don't think so. I think that was the final.
Okay. Well, that
now I know Ned plays on the other team. Jeez.
But that could mean so many things. You don't really know
what I'm
Ned
saying. It's like Ned, Jesus. So
exactly, that's the point. Ned, Jesus. You'll know that when you finally catch up on 2 seasons.
It's not Ned. First of all, there's no. Okay, we're not going to say his real name. His name isn't Ned, by the way.
Why did I think Ned?
I did too.
You said Ned. Okay,
I was close. I know. So it just came back to me, but it's actually
you haven't started watching it yet, have you?
I don't watch, and they're misidentifying the characters. So this is like.
Are you gonna watch?
The furthest thing from a spoiler. I was actually in a conversation with Daryl about this last week. I pick like one random thing every year that everybody watches, and I don't watch, and I say I'll watch it later, and then I don't get. So I never watched the thing with the tiger guy.
Oh, that's
okay.
Well,
everybody watched it. I never watched the chess show last year.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Again, everybody was like, "You got to see this."
Here's the thing, though: if you skip this one, you're actually skipping one of the best written shows I've ever seen.
This is the thing. So this is the one
This is the one that I don't know if I think it's as great as everyone thinks.
I think the writing is awesome.
I'm weakening, but we'll see. But honestly,
here's the thing:
so
though,
much
I will say
TV
this.
in the queue right now that it's like, when am I going to?
This is easy to watch, though.
Here's
30,
the thing I would say
though
about it is that I think the writing is really good, but some of the jokes go by so fast, and they're very specific. A lot of 80s references, like I bet a lot of it goes over some people's heads. They don't even realize the jokes.
I like
there are
that kind
times
of stuff.
where I've had to pause it and go, "Oh shit, that was a slow burn. I just got that joke." And I've looked at Maria, and she might have missed it, and I've explained it to her. Like, there's a lot going rapid fire on that show, so especially when Ted's talking. So I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's funny. I was trying to think of something I thought they just said, and it wasn't that. It was Billions had a whole sort of little exchange that was literally about the movie Vision Quest, and I'm like, wow, that's a deep reference to sort of have a communication with somebody.
There was a reference in this final episode where he said, "Well, you live, you learn," and then he makes some Alanis Morissette joke that goes by so fast.
Yeah, I heard.
And I'm
that
like,
one,
that went over 90% of the audience.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good. I mean, you should watch it. There's some great characters in it. Roy is the best. And the most talented. I mean, this dude writes and produces and acts in this thing.
Yeah.
So does Jason. So anyway, and I forgot we're actually on the air. So anyway, if you're watching Ted Lasso, enjoy it. But today we're going to talk about 3 new shows. So a couple weeks ago, we were like, here's a couple shows maybe we'd be interested in checking out. We actually named the 4th, but Ordinary Joe is not for us. It's like the freaking This Is Us show, so forget that. But,
okay, so you're saying that some of these other shows were for us?
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
No, but they're a little more in our wheelhouse than Ordinary Joe
that's
was.
Fair. That's fair.
I just never even got to watch it. But so why the letter Y, The Last Man on FX on Hulu, whatever that means. I think you can only watch it on Hulu. We have told the FX people no one gets this. They're not listening to us. Not us, me at work. Like, no one gets your branding. It's confusing. Anyway, that's work talk. LaBrea on NBC and Ghosts on CBS. More on all of those soon. Then we got What's in the Box, and then there's a bunch. Like we said, there's a bunch of stuff starting to come up that we need to watch.
There's a jam-packed fourth quarter here. Like the end of this year has a ton of stuff coming.
Let's see, this year is going out with a bang. Yeah. Or
so
at least
we'll go through some of that.
An echo in the void of space. So.
Yeah. But let's go some random. Barry, since I stole yours, one of you go.
That's okay. So we're recording this on Tuesday night. That's important for people to know for what we're about to talk about. So the Blue Origin space flight with William Shatner was supposed to be today. It's actually been postponed until tomorrow.
Oh, it is? I didn't know when it was.
Yeah, they released it. It's tomorrow morning, I think at 10 a.m. Eastern. So by the time people are listening to this, everybody will know the outcome of this flight.
Jesus, you are so grim about this.
No. Listen, so
let us be the first to say, "Rest in space, Captain Kirk."
No, I'm not going there. I did that last week, but so and I texted you guys the picture that they released of the crew, the 4 of them, and it looks like a Fantastic Four press photo. I mean,
people have done better than that. So people took that photo. Okay, I saw one version today where they put Shatner in the gold tunic.
Yeah,
and the other 3.
Barry, someone texted it. Didn't one of us text?
Okay,
earlier today. That was me too.
Like everybody has shared that thing with me today. I've gotten it at least twice, and I saw it online. So it's like, oh yeah, they're not letting this go. It's
no. But to me, I was like, and I'd seen other people reference it. So I'm not taking credit for this, but. Just the way they were sitting, the fact that there's a blonde woman on the flight, her name's Audrey Powers. Now, her last name's Powers. That's like perfect for like a superhero last name. And I watched an interview with Shatner today, and he called her a space lawyer. She's the vice president of missions and flight operations, but he called her a space lawyer, which I just thought was hilarious. There's another guy named Chris who's a co-founder of Earth observation company called Planet Labs. And then the other guy is works at a French software company. Anyway, they delayed it till tomorrow due to bad weather. And I'm just thinking, that's like the perfect plotline of a superhero movie. Right, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, everything about this feels like they're setting it up to be the Fantastic Four.
Just imagine 90-year-old The Thing.
So people that are listening to this Friday, this may already have happened. They may already have been hit with gamma rays, and they may come back with superpowers, cosmic rays, whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll know by the time this airs. They may be the Fantastic Four.
Exactly. Well, good for them.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Todd?
Okay. So Noah Hawley is developing a Aliens series for FX. And
he is? Do we know that? Did we talk about that?
We've talked about this before.
Yes,
and I will give anything Noah
I'm
Hawley,
thinking the Neil Blomkamp guy who's going to do a sequel to
movie. Yeah.
Anything that Noah Hawley has a hand in, a try. He's done some really, really cool stuff. And Legion, not the least of which is Legion, and then Fargo, etc.
He had something Star Trek thing going too at some point, wasn't he?
Yep. So Ridley Scott is involved in it. Okay, he's an executive producer, but he went on record saying it's not going to be as good as the movie.
Which one?
As what movie?
His
Alien,
movie, Alien
or Aliens, or Prometheus, or
made recently.
And just basically, he just pretty much said that ultimately nothing could be as good as the movie, so it's not as good as the movie, but it could still be good. And it's like, He's a freaking producer on this show.
Says the man who made Prometheus.
Yeah, it'll never be as good as the first one. That's what I have to say.
And guess what? James Cameron made a movie that was as good as the first one
Again,
in its own way.
It will never be as good as the first one. That's what I have to say. So, yeah.
Listen, no disrespect to him, but that just sounds like a off the wall comment.
It's very Ridley Scott. One of the things that is interesting, I will say, is interesting about it is going to take place on Earth, and the thing that Noah Hawley had talked about with this was that every alien incarnation has taken place within a confined space. Okay? And this is the first opportunity to tell one of these stories without being, on a ship, in a prison, somewhere like that. He's basically they can go anywhere with this, and it totally changes the story. So could be very, very interesting. We'll see. Sorry, Ridley, could be better than the first movie. I don't know. I'm leaving my options open. So
fair enough.
I got another thing if you want to come back to me.
I'll come back to you. Quickly, we mentioned when we were talking about Foundation, I mentioned that book 70s, and I know Barry listened to or read. Ron Howard's been working on developing that for like the past 4 years.
Oh,
so
wow.
I could see him totally making that into a movie.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be good. So I don't know. Obviously, pandemic screws everything up. But that was my quick one. I have others too. Barry, why don't we go around? Let's go around again.
Yeah, I have a fairly quick one, but I found a website called Wicked Brick, which primarily focuses on display options for people that collect Legos. So they have all kinds of display cases and display
I think I've seen that.
risers and stands. But they've got a whole other section of their website where they make like cases for Harry Potter wands and things like that. But where it gets really interesting is they've got on their website a section called Solutions for IKEA. And then you go down deeper. They make display things just for people that have DTOF display cases. So they've got risers to put all different kinds of small figures, medium-sized figures.
I have heard of them, actually.
They've got backdrops that fit exactly in the back of a
lot
shelf
of people sell
in
those,
a DTOF. They've got, there's a IKEA bookcase called a Kallax, I think.
Yep.
They make these windows that fit into the opening so that it makes it like there's glass in each section of it.
Oh, wow.
Like really cool stuff. I was kind of blown away when I saw all the stuff that they're making, and just to have the acrylic risers that are the perfect size to fit in there for people that collect Funko Pops or for action figure collectors.
I got to check that out because I've done some really creative things inside of the DTOF cases, but I'm always looking for other ideas.
So it's called Wicked Brick, and it's really, again, it's mostly for Legos, but I found this website just earlier today from an Instagram ad.
And did you say Wicked Brick?
Wicked Brick.
Oh, I thought you said Wicket Brick. I thought you were going to...
No.
Okay.
Wickedbrick.com.
No.
It's wickedbrick.com. Check it out. Or it might be Wicked Bricks. It's one of those two. But check it out. They've got some cool stuff on there. And
that's interesting.
Not expensive, yeah.
Cool. Todd.
Okay.
Don't look at it. Don't look it up now.
Sit back for this one. This is going to take a minute.
Okay.
So there is a podcast called the Popcast. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's on you can get it different places, but I've listened to some of the videos on YouTube. They have an episode from 2 months ago called "This is How Strange New Worlds Will Bring Old Trek and New Trek Together." And in 24 minutes, this guy explains absolutely perfectly why Discovery did not work. And I agree with absolutely everything he says. And I guess some of it's a little hard to digest because you got to admit some things. I mean, one of which is the reality is that the average, I mean, the whole idea, Gene Roddenberry's original concept, he pretty much pioneered inclusivity in Star Trek. Okay, no one was doing this, and he did this. Okay, and then they made Discovery, and they took this to a degree where they were inclusive to the point of being exclusive. The only white male in the show was the bad guy, and he was odd from minute one. Now, if you look at the demographics of the Star Trek audience, okay, it's wonderful that that there's gay characters that people can identify with, and there's African American characters people can identify, and people on the whole racial spectrum that people can identify, including aliens and half robots, okay? But the core majority of the audience doesn't have anyone to identify with in that show.
Good point.
Okay, and this guy laid this out so perfectly and just said, there is a reason why, these other shows have been popular, and they, even when they shifted up the game and they had a woman captain and they had an African American commander and later captain and whatnot, there were still people that all the different disparate members of the audience could relate to. And when you're inclusive to the point of excluding the largest share of your audience, okay, the show is going to fail. And he basically, went through the whole thing where, the cast they've announced with Strange New Worlds does this exactly right, and bizarrely, the same sort of formula that Gene Roddenberry used, where, there's someone from everywhere on the spectrum and kind of worked into the story in reasonable relative ways, but no one's really excluded. So you could be inclusive without being,
Well, and the thing that Roddenberry did so right with that original series was he did all of that and never pointed it out.
No,
it just was because this was the
and
future and it was an ideal version of society.
And that was it. Was
especially the last season of Discovery. It was, from my opinion, so heavy-handed that it was like, yeah, we get it. This is the way it should be, but you don't have to go so overboard as to beat us over the head with it.
And absolutely, and this is one of the things that, again, it's and he goes through population percentages and things like this, and it's not an argument. It's just it's a very well done, rationally laid out thing, and he says that basically, essentially, psychologically, a huge core of this audience were predisposed to like this show, but didn't because they couldn't find a foothold in the show. Okay, and it's how we're wired. I mean, it comes down to the same thing about you go back to it, and people tend to hire people who look like themselves. People tend to have form friendships with people who look like themselves. All this stuff. A lot of this is psychological. We can take whatever steps we want to correct that and change that, in society and whatever, and we definitely need to. But in an entertainment experience, you're not going to sit down and say, wow, I really should be more progressive in the TV show I'm choosing, so I'm going to watch this and have no point of connection. And again, I think
it's also 50 years into a franchise.
What I'm saying, but
it kind of has an established
he laid this
base.
out. I like I said, encourage people to listen again. The Popcast. It's how Strange New Worlds will bring old and new Trek together. It was a extremely well articulated, not even argument, just explanation of how this didn't work. And they did surveys with 2,000 people, and they basically found three groups, and it was don't really like it but are watching it and hoping it will get better, and refuse to watch it and hate it. And exactly, we're in that middle group, and this
right. But and I would add to that, and I know you don't want to belabor this, but all of what you just said, I'm sure is dead accurate. The other thing that they did was kind of shit on Star Trek. I mean, let's be honest, it wasn't beyond the types of characters and all of that. It wasn't, to me, it never felt like Star Trek. So right. It was all of what you just said and then some.
Right.
What's wrong with it.
The rationale was, this was before Star Trek. Okay, this was before the Star Trek that we knew. So it was okay, but the reality is it wasn't. Okay, because we were working on the same values with Archer and his crew, and they were working on the same values in the original pilot, which predates this. So this was, I mean, he's very honest with it. He really very much says that Brian Fuller had some bad ideas, and they cut the cord with Brian Fuller, but kept the ideas. And it wasn't until they actually fired the second group of people that they finally, found a direction that they could work with. And
right, and that's why we all enjoyed the short treks and the stuff that had the Enterprise crew in it so much, and that's why we're all hoping that Brave New World,
exactly,
New World
and that's what I'm saying.
But it's the show we want.
But he looked at it from a more optimistic standpoint, whereas like this could kind of reunite. This is now Discovery is pushed off in the far future. This could be the thing that brings Trek fans all back into the fold together, and I hope that's true. I'm sorry for a very long random, but again, I watch a lot or listen to a lot of things like this, and this was extremely well done, and I very rarely agree 100% with the case they're making, and that was the case with this. So
it's hard to believe that they're going into season 4 of that show. Most Star Trek shows, by the time they hit end of the second season, beginning of the third season, they're in their stride, and that's when we love them. And we're going into season 4 hoping it gets better. That's just not a good sign.
If you were going to pick, was there one season that you liked better than the others? I still like season 2, and I know they really took the red blinky light thing,
like
and they drew it way out and stuff. But there's some good episodes.
It felt
in
like
there.
a Flash season.
Yeah,
it's just the same storyline, way too long.
They milked it a little too long, but again, I wonder.
I'd say 1 because it had a nice twist. They've all got their issues.
Yeah,
they really all do.
But it's
season 1. If you could take the bad Klingon character design out of it,
absolutely. That they
reference
that too. And
yeah, interesting. So. Anyway, what do I got? Oh. So they announced who's going to play Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This guy, Will Poulter. I only know this guy from We Are the Millers, where he played a total nerd.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I don't see it, but maybe he's good. I don't know.
Maybe.
Do you know this guy from anything? I don't really know.
I just know him from that movie too.
Yeah. So. To me, Adam Warlock is like the most handsome dude with his flowing blonde hair and everything.
His golden skin, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We saw the people that he's genetically derived from in the previous, in number 2.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and we basically saw the egg he's supposed to come out of. So, we'll see.
I definitely see a Brad Pitt, or they're all too old, but that guy, not this guy.
Or your boy Tom Cruise, who's just perfect in every way.
That's true.
Except that new photo that we just saw of him today.
Something's wrong with that photo. I don't know what's wrong with that photo.
That photo was bad.
I think it was on page 6 and then it got viral, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. Who knows what he looks like? Any other random?
I know we're 23 minutes in, but real quick, check out on YouTube. There's a Vought International YouTube channel, which has 7 videos up right now, all from VNN, the Vought National News Network.
Yeah.
They're all like in-universe news shows about the characters from The Boys, and they're really well done.
All the Boys supporting videos have been great. They've done this right down the line in the different each season, and they've been terrific. They really give you kind of a glimpse into this universe that's totally effed up. It's great. So their teaser.
You know who else is great? Fanboy Collectibles. They were at New York Comic Con. Hopefully, if you were there, you saw them. Sent a lot of pictures on social media. Seemed like there was a crowd there, so hopefully it worked out for those guys. Yeah. But if you need hot toys or pops or Kotobukias or sideshow or statues or anything, the holidays are coming up. We are going to start seeing holiday commercials, Christmas commercials any day now.
Dave knows.
No, I don't know. I'm not in that part of the business. But I'm just saying, you just feel it. They were doing freaking Halloween like a month and a half ago. So
well, and honestly, there's a ton of news stories out about how the shipping companies are having trouble, and that the holidays may be hard for people this year because they may not have a ton of product on shelves. So this is the time to start buying holiday gifts.
Start buying and go to Fanboy Collectibles and buy from them.
That's right.
Tell them the Regular Joe sent you. Or go to their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Okay. So we all watched 3 shows, more or less the first episode of each. Some of us, I'm sure, watched more than one.
So
except for Barry.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, continue.
That was.
I was just going to say, to put it this way, the half-hour one. Did you watch both episodes because they considered the pilot to be 2 episodes?
I felt like I needed to.
The network scheduled it as an hour.
Okay, so that's.
But it was 2 half-hour episodes as the premiere, but it was an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I watched it on demand, which I hadn't recorded it, which is brutal with the same freaking commercial.
Yeah.
I know. Whatever. It was tough.
But
I watched
anyway, I'm sure they'll break this into 2 episodes when it never gets to syndication. But yeah.
Okay. Well,
syndication.
I feel like I want to start with LaBrea.
Oh, come on! You don't want to start with Ghosts? Come on.
Let's start with Ghosts.
Let's start with Ghosts.
Let's start with the next Friends, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Ghosts
Where do we start?
is, to give spoilers, by the way, Ghosts is a half-hour sitcom based on a British show. I don't know if it's airing still or whatever, where people inherit a house
without a laugh track, which I felt like it needed one so that I would know where the funny parts were.
I like that it didn't have a. Now that you say it, I think I like that it didn't have a laugh track. So these people inherit a house that that's been in their family for 6 generations, and there's anyone who died in or on the property is a ghost sort of trapped, and they explain like some ghosts move on to the next plane, some are trapped, and these are all trapped,
and they're all varying character types. So
that's true.
One is
there any
like,
go ahead.
One's like a Native American Indian. One is like a hippie from the 60s. One is like a stockbroker guy, like Wall Street.
He's like the newest dad from like the 90s.
Yep.
Guy
who happens to have no pants on.
Yeah.
One was like
the 1800s. One's from colonial times.
Yeah, and one's like a Viking.
The original owner of the house.
He's the funniest.
Yeah.
And then the Boy Scout leader.
All right.
Then Boy Scout. He's probably was from the 70s, 60s, 70s or 80s.
And this young couple inherits the house.
Yeah. Rose MacGyver, who played a zombie on iZombie. Not that I've ever seen that.
So that's
the girl.
They do throw in the second episode. There's a little zombie joke. It's like that was.
You want to know? Okay, in my opinion, watching it is like, oh my God, this is what broadcast television is down to.
Okay,
I'll say this. I did watch it after LaBrea, so maybe
I did.
My senses were.
That's a fair point.
Beaten.
I did this point I was going to make later in the show when we go down the list of things to watch, but I've got a list of over a dozen things that are coming up that we're interested in, and almost none of them are on broadcast television.
Yeah.
And that actually tells you something.
This is my prediction for this show. Okay, this will be the thing that 5 years from now, these people leave off their resume.
I challenged you on this, and I will say 3 words. Bob loves Abishola. Yeah. That piece of crap is still on. It's in its 2nd or 3rd season.
I think it's its 3rd season because, well, maybe 2nd. When I was in California pre-pandemic, they were filming it on the.
Yeah, I remember you went there.
Yeah,
I've only seen the previews for that, but it looks just so horrible.
I watched the first episode of it only because I was there when they were filming it, and it's on. Yeah, I found it unwatchable.
Okay. Do you think?
I don't think this is
the cost
as bad
of making
as we
this
think
show
it is
the same as the cost as making that?
Well, I will say this. I think the special effects on this were better than the special effects in LaBrea.
Yeah, okay. We'll get to that later. I don't think this is a cheap show to make. Okay, it's not super expensive, but I'm saying there's
once they built the house, which was nice.
Right, no, but what I'm saying, this is not like a single camera sitcom where you've got like a set and you shoot within, it's like this is not the Friends apartment and Central Perk.
This is single camera, right?
No, but what I'm saying, the normal kind of thing where you have a very confined space and you work with it.
Yeah.
They're moving room to room to room. We keep seeing new rooms. There's 12 people in every single shot. Okay,
it's true. And there's a big cast.
It's a big cast. Plus, you get the people,
and a lot of costumes.
All the cholera victims in the basement.
They only wear one outfit though, so there's no costume changes.
That saves some money.
Yeah, that's true.
I gotta say it was okay. It's not good.
Oh God, no.
But
No.
I have found myself thinking about things and laughing. It's funnier than you may think it is.
Okay.
I thought the Viking guy was funny, and the people in the basement are hysterical.
The people in the basement were good. I like that the Viking, when the cable guy came in. And
What is
installed
Donut
the
Hole?
TV Yeah, what is Donut Hole?
Yeah, but
when he
this
came in and
is-
installed the cable and the
That is
Viking
the
show was
one
on.
joke in this whole freaking show is they're not understanding something that they've had decades to figure out what it is, and it's like, you know,
But they keep playing on that.
but that's what I'm saying, and it's over, and oh my gosh,
I know.
they've never seen a TV.
You know what I thought was funny? The 1700s guy who found out that Hamilton became
That was
more
the
famous
one
than him.
that honestly that was my
I
favorite
thought
joke
that
in the
was
whole thing. Is
Yeah.
now this guy wants to put himself who is famous for or not famous for surrendering Fort Ticonderoga and then dying of dysentery, 2 weeks later. So and
It's
clearly gay.
there's worse stuff on
And-
television.
Sure, there is, but that's not a ringing endorsement either.
Yeah, no, it's
But there's some stuff I keep thinking of. I keep thinking of those people. So these people live in the basement where I know we have to explain it because no one's going to watch it. So they have problems with their boiler, and the guy, the husband, is not handy at all. So he keeps going down to the basement to fix the thing. And there's like 10 people who died of cholera down there. They all look like they're zombies because they're. And he keeps trying to do stuff, and they're all like, don't touch the gas that way. Wait, don't hit it with
what
a
we
hammer.
haven't said yet, and I know we're spoiling it, but who cares? So the wife falls down the stairs, hits her head, and all of a sudden she can see the ghosts where the husband can't see them.
Because she was
dead
technically
for
dead
a
for
couple
3
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah,
which
So
is
she
explained
can
to her
see the
by a
ghosts.
dead doctor who she thinks is actually her doctor.
That was actually kind
I
of
thought
funny
that was
too.
good because it's like
Yeah.
the only.
I don't think
the only
the show's so
indication
bad.
Was, the only indication was his clothes.
Yeah.
Which were a little dated, and then your actual doctor's here. She's very good, by the way, and
I also did like that the Wall Street broker ghost guy just thinks that the wife is hot and just is constantly making comments.
that's
about
right.
that.
Yeah. Yep.
He's the typical 90s douchebag.
Oh my God, yes.
yeah.
But that's the other thing is every one of these is a very shallow stereotype. And
Yeah.
and
We're
that
making the show
is
sound better than
apparently
it is,
why
people.
they're condemned to purgatory for their shallowness. And
Oh, I didn't get that. But
yeah, and so
okay.
so if they ever develop any sort of dimension to the characters, they'll move on.
I mean, it's certainly not good, but it's probably the best bad show I've seen. No, I don't know.
In a
I would
season
watch
where
it
there's
again
not a
if
lot
I
of
don't
new-
have to put any effort in.
In a season where there's not a lot of new sitcoms or shows, really, it's probably one of the more interesting things that's hitting network. But I mean,
The Goldbergs, not by a long
no, it's not
shot.
nearly the goal.
But is it better than like half? I mean, is there a single sitcom that you've actually watched in years? They're horrible.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned the Goldbergs because I've talked about it since it started. I love the Goldbergs. I've liked it since the first episode. But there's a formula that every single episode of all 8 seasons has followed. That it's literally the same show every episode with just different window dressing.
yes,
Literally
yeah.
the same show. So, but it's still entertaining.
You
because
seize
they-
on
they
the
find
single
a way to
element,
make it-
single
it's-
nostalgic element, and then you revolve around. Yeah. It's
When you look back at Seinfeld and Friends, which is on all the time, I could watch Friends. Friends is, I still laugh out loud at Friends. I mean, it's certainly Seinfeld too,
Yeah.
but
But
there's,
and the
but
Big
the
Bang
thing
there's
is,
so much
there's
more
that
to those
as
shows.
well.
But part of it is, that's things have done that. I mean, The Good Place was clever, creative, very, very different, and they changed things up. I mean, there's you can still do stuff like that, and
But I do feel, and I think this is going to be a theme, broadcast television, not only are they in a world of pain from last year and ratings are down and people aren't watching TV and there's a million streaming channels and blah, 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 blah. There's a million reasons. They're not putting the money into these things, whether it's... But is that really it? Is it the money, the time, the talent? Is the talent all someplace else? I don't really
I
know
feel
what the
like
answer
15
is.
years ago, this show wouldn't have made it past the pilot. And now it's
Oh
a
yeah,
series.
there's nothing. Yeah, but that's the problem. Where is everything good? Everything good is on
Right.
Amazon and Apple and
all the best
Hulu
writers and all the best everybody
Yeah.
are going to those things. So
yeah, I had said in our text
should-
earlier this week, I said, was it have all like writers like waiters all moved on to other jobs during
I'm sure.
COVID because this just
No, not. I think they've all moved on to
They're all writing for where the money is too.
Yeah.
If it may not even be the money, it may be the freedom to be creative, and
when
do
we were
something
running
that's
down the
outside
Ghost,
the box.
Did we mention the 50s guy that's decapitated?
No.
Oh yeah, you hardly see him.
And the black woman. Well, he's in the black woman.
Oh no,
jazz
black
singer.
woman. She's
Jazz
black.
singer,
Or
yeah,
she's,
we didn't mention her either.
I don't know if she's black. I don't know. Maybe she is.
Well, yeah, she's like a jazz singer from the 20s or 30s or something. Yeah,
20s.
Yeah.
And it's again, it's a pretty big cast.
There's a lot going on. I mean, they may have really.
Well, let me ask you this, Dave: are you going to keep watching it?
If I could be sitting somewhere and it comes on in front of me, I do it. If I have to go out, put some effort out, I don't know. I mean, it's 22 minutes of time while you're doing something else. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see myself watching any more of it.
I feel like it'll be
knowing how much good stuff is coming.
6 episodes and it'll be played out. I feel like if that many.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen worse.
They would have to change it up.
I give it a
bit.
5.
They'd have to change it up a bit to keep it interesting. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same jokes over and over again.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I give it a 5.
The other thing is
anybody number
4.
Yeah, 4 to 5, somewhere in there. 4 I'll go 4.5 between the two of you.
I have to say 4 because 5 means I'm going to watch more of it. And I said I wasn't going to watch.
I
more.
would watch.
So do they
just to watch?
Go full into the husband believing the wife is still sane and is actually seeing ghosts, or is he kind of humoring her? Because that will be interesting.
In this day and age, they probably are going to have him be on board. But let's go back to I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched. Those were the same freaking show she's a genie. She gets into trouble, gets you into trouble every single episode. Have you not learned your lesson? So you could play this out for seasons. I don't think it'll have the chance, but
I think they would have to keep introducing new ghosts because I think that cast of characters, as large as it is going to wear out pretty quickly.
But that's the thing. It's like, okay, there's 10 ghosts. I don't know how many people in the cast. 10, let's say 10. I mean, these other shows, like, again, I Dream of Jeannie and stuff like that, Gilligan's Island, they rehashed the same stuff, but they probably had better writing back then.
Well, they also had guest stars every week, so there was
so the Harlem Globetrotters showed up on the island and left.
I don't know. I don't know. I
don't
see
think
myself.
this day and age it's sustainable.
There are 9 ghosts, not counting the cholera victims. So
the cholera victim. One of them is actually a dude who's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
That dude who was in the front left.
Yep.
Is like I don't know where I know him from, but you totally know him.
Yeah. He's been in a ton of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's always the background guy.
Yeah.
Those guys. I think those guys are funny.
Don't turn off the light.
Yeah, they don't like them to turn the light off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the state of broadcast television.
I'm going to give all 3 of these shows at least. I will watch 3 episodes of each of these things.
Oh wow.
Let me ask you this question, and I'm almost afraid of the answer. Do we want to give the English version a chance to see what it is all about?
The English version is very high rated. I'm going to check it out. I'm very curious to see what the difference is.
Being Human, there was an English version and an American version. I happen to like the American version much better than I like the English version.
Much better. Much better.
I didn't think so.
And there are people that rave about the British version of The Office, and I prefer the American version.
That was tough to watch, too. It's dry. Very tough to watch. I watched the first half a season of that.
Just look at the trailer for the on IMDb. Look at the trailer for the British version. It just looks so much. It seems filmed better. Good God, all the ghosts look the same. That's crazy.
Huh. Same as in the American version?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean they have the scout with the arrow through his neck.
Oh, really? All right, let's watch that. We'll report back later. Okay,
you guys let me.
Let's let's go from medium to low with LaBrea, which was so freaking awful.
God.
It's not even funny.
It literally. So again, brief synopsis of the plot: they're driving around in L.A. and within the first minute and a half, a giant sinkhole opens and some people fall in. They put so much exposition into that first minute and a half.
It's like, oh, by the way, daughter's handicapped.
So yeah, the first 90 seconds of that show, they crammed in so much information because they knew that if they didn't get to the giant sinkhole within the first 2 minutes, nobody was going to watch the damn show.
I was actually happy they got to the sinkhole in literally in the beginning. I thought it would be like halfway through, but
it should have been, because they should have actually given us a little bit of time to develop some of those characters, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
That mother was a pain in the ass in the first minute. I'm like, you've got 2 grown kids. Why are you so all over them?
I'm halfway through this episode, and something occurs to me. This is like the 12th swing at bat to try to capitalize on a Lost thing, right? They've done this over and over again, and we're not really going to explain everything, and we're going to give it the dribs and drabs, and have these really thin characters, but they're not who you think they are, and all the same shit. And so in this one, they even acknowledged that it was like an episode of Lost. It was like,
they even referenced Lost,
They had to.
Okay, what if they did this as a parody? What if they straight up, you know what I'm saying? But I'm halfway through this episode.
It's been done. There's a thing on TBS
there really?
about
Because I'm
that.
like, watching this, like, why isn't somebody
not
done
only
like...
is it like Lost, it's like Land of the Lost.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was what this was.
Barry, you're exactly right. It actually is more like Land of the Lost. I'm waiting for Sleestacks to show up. Look,
I actually
great.
preferred it if Sleestack showed up. This was awful.
There was a show called Wrecked, and I think there's another one too, Lost parody.
And I'm not even kidding. The special effects in the Ghost Show were better than these effects.
When she's almost falling down into the tar pit, or into
the daughter catches her?
Before the daughter catches her, when she's running and the ground opens up under her.
Oh, God,
okay,
yeah.
I'm watching this on an 11-inch tablet, and it looks terrible. And
I'm watching it on a 75-inch screen.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like worse.
It's like this doesn't look believable on an 11-inch tablet. And it's like...
Yeah, the only stuff that looked believable was the buildings falling, because they've probably got that stuff in the computer from every other show they've ever done.
Yep.
The stuff that was specific to this, whether it be that stupid dinosaur saber-toothed tiger thing, or whether it was the sinkhole.
Remember the building slipping over from Inception? Could we use that? Okay.
Anything would have been better. And in the credits, in the opening credits, I saw that Ione Skye was credited. So now I'm watching through the whole show, waiting for her to show up. And when that policewoman showed up, I'm like, that can't possibly be Ione Skye.
Oh, good God. You couldn't pick Ione Skye out?
She hadn't showed up.
Okay, yeah.
I was waiting for her to show up.
It's like in the first 20 minutes.
Okay, who is she?
I'm sorry she's not in
did they say
anything
who
or whatever, Ione Skye. I thought she was like the family therapist or something.
She's a family member. She's an aunt, they said.
Did they say that?
Yes.
I missed
it. Wasn't
Trust
clear.
me, I didn't look that up.
They didn't say aunt, and it was not clear
and that's
who
what I'm
she
saying.
was.
And I thought at first, like, she was either his current girlfriend, his therapist,
I'm
her
pretty
therapist,
sure they called her aunt,
or something like that, or a
family therapist, a family lawyer.
Something like
I didn't know what she was.
Yeah, because she was like obviously enmeshed there, but they never made it. I mean, I guess logically she would be
the
like.
Kid referred to her as aunt.
Did they?
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
So she's got to be his sister. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
everything about this was so awful, and the fact that. I mean,
the writing, the acting.
I'm
horrible.
not going to recommend anybody watch this, so I don't feel bad giving this away. When she dropped the wedding ring and she realized she dropped the wedding ring, and they were so obvious about her playing with the wedding ring earlier, and then it felt. I'm like, oh, okay, so they're going to find this. I mean, that was like so obvious to me that okay, they're somehow back in time. But he goes to a rock that he remembered from a photo with a shovel and finds a wedding ring. What are the even odds of that happening? Are everything about
just
this
made no sense.
Awful.
In 12,000...
Wait, did he in his flashback see her drop it?
Right, he did. In 12,000 years.
He did.
Okay. The other thing, too, is like the sign that's sitting right next to the rock, like Wilshire Boulevard. Okay, let's just make sure that like it's the most identical sign we can find. No, but in 12,000 years, there's not multiple feet of sediment there. The rock is at the same height in the ground.
He dug. Wait. You're
dug
way off.
down
But he
about
dug like almost an
No,
inch.
but what I'm saying is,
not even a foot.
I know.
it's just so bad.
And he just happens to be a helicopter pilot, and he just happened. Everything about this was the worst writing, the worst acting.
It's awful. I
Everything
mean, this
about
is the state of network television. Jesus.
So I'm looking at this guy. I'm thinking, okay, so this guy get kicked out of the military. He's really he's really let himself go. He's drinking. He's all this kind of stuff. In the second episode, which I'll admit I did watch, they have a flashback to when he gets kicked out of the military. Okay, he's not clean shaven. He has the same haircut and everything. And it's like this is not a pilot.
I don't understand how you could even watch the second episode.
Yeah,
it's pretty awful. There's nothing redeeming
I think
about this
autoplay
show
was
at all.
involved, but
I wanted to like it. I really did, because I was hoping that there might be something new coming up, like not on a streaming service. But
I
no,
will
this
say
was bad.
I thought the first episode was so incredibly dumbed down, so overexplained, that I thought, okay, the second episode somehow has to be better in some ways. No, it is not. And it's
just the writing is so like cheesy and just like skipping over important stuff. And I mean, how did they make Lost 10 years ago or whatever, and then they make this? I mean, is the state of like broadcast television so much worse?
Is high art compared to the dire wolf or whatever it was that
and
attacked
there
the guy?
were. So we're still doing our Lost rewatch, by the way, and we just started season 4. There are some effects in Lost that don't necessarily hold up now. They looked good in the day, but nothing as bad as what was in this brand new TV episode.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the writing. I mean, Jesus.
By the way, I'm still absolutely loving rewatching Lost. And I'm in season 4. We just started season 4.
Is that the bad one? Which is the really bad one?
We just started season 4. I think season 4 is when it's right after the Not Penny's boat thing and when the people show up with the freighter. So
I don't remember any of that.
So fucking good. Sorry for cursing, but it's so good.
Okay, LaBrea.
Yeah, and by the way, in other news, I'm back to dating my ex-girlfriend who burned my car, who stole my car and burned my house, because I think it's going to work out better this time. But yeah, this was
Is that in Lost?
What's that? Yeah, that's my Lost reference. So
I didn't get that.
That is my description of rewatching Lost. It's getting back together with the girlfriend who stole your car and burned your house because you think it's going to go better the second time.
You know what?
Jack had that old Bronco before they were cool.
I'm just loving it, so I don't care what you say.
Yeah. So
okay. LaBrea a 2, a 1.
LaBrea is a dumpster fire.
It's awful.
It's a 1.
It is
nothing redeeming about it.
Steaming pit of tar. Yeah.
There was nothing
really
redeeming about it.
I'd say that.
I felt legitimately sad for the actors involved in this. I'm watching this thinking, my God, they've got to be seeing this and thinking, what the hell did I just do?
That main girl, woman, has been in stuff.
Oh yeah,
she was in Grey's Anatomy.
She's been in a bunch of things, and I also felt bad for them.
Yeah, I almost feel like we should pick another new drama. It could be anything. I don't know, just to be like, is everything really this bad? Is there anything good?
The doctor guy, who's also a Navy SEAL. Okay.
Yes.
And looks like could be neither.
Okay. I actually think he's like the let's see, the low rent Mark Wahlberg. Seriously, look at this guy. I've seen him in a couple different things.
Oh boy,
he's got the same haircut.
And it's funny you say that because my son walked in the room when we were watching it, and he said, "Oh, is that Mark Wahlberg?"
I'm telling you,
literally said that.
He's like the background Mark Wahlberg guy. Okay, yeah.
I felt bad because I had Maria watch it with me, thinking maybe this is something we'll watch, together, and we both thought it was just awful. So
it's funny. 2 shows they just announced today. I think they're both CBS shows. Were renewed, or no, nothing gets renewed yet. Given full season orders. Both NCIS Hawaii, like the number 7 NCIS series, which I've never seen a second of in my life, and FBI something else international.
Yeah, they're always in the city. Yeah.
like FBI now is, Chicago, there's NCIS, there's Law and Order, there's freaking now FBI's got multiple.
But there's also like Chicago Central and Chicago Hospital
there's
and
the
Chicago Fire.
Chicago Night,
And
that's on
that's the
NBC
thing.
also.
Somebody watches these things.
Oh my
And it's
God,
like
yeah.
it's like I think we blame Dick Wolf for all of this because it's
Somebody watches them, but the numbers of the people that watch them are nothing compared to what people watched of these types of shows 10 years ago. Like, it doesn't have to be as big of a success to get renewed anymore because they just need eyeballs.
Oh my God, no.
They just need eyeballs.
People watch The Masked Singer and also the Avatar Singer,
Avatar
whatever the hell
Singer,
that
and-
crap. Oh, it's I can't watch it.
And The Bachelor in Paradise and Dancing with the Stars. These things get ratings.
Let me tell you something. What was I watching? I was watching Hawaii Five-0, up until it finished, which was not great. It's light years ahead of this. And that's a couple seasons out. Anyway, okay. LaBrea sucks.
All right, so let's talk about the one show that we watched that actually potentially has some redeeming qualities.
So, why The Last Man? I have no idea where you find it. Not on FX.
Hulu. It is on Hulu.
Well, and I am a Hulu subscriber, and based on the things that I watch, this should have been on my home screen, but I had to search for it.
Yeah.
I had to literally type in the letter Y just to find it on Hulu.
I don't know. So, I mean, again, whatever spoilers. It's some guy, the last guy on Earth. Whatever. We'll get into it. But compared to LaBrea, the writing, the production values, the acting is so night and day.
The character development. I mean,
It's like a junior high school
can
play
act.
versus
It's written,
Broadway.
It's paced well.
It's
They're
amazing.
not at no point are you treating you like are they treating you like you're an idiot? And they're like not handing stuff.
It's a
to
little
you.
convoluted, but
It is, but the thing is,
but to be fair, it's based on a very, very popular graphic novel. So there's source material to pull from, unlike
and the
LaBrea.
title is also The Last Man.
But they shouldn't. TV writers should be able to come up with stuff.
But again,
I mean,
it's the title is The Last Man, so you're getting the idea that he is the last guy there is. But I think I read the comic. I think they did a really good job of adapting this. I think the casting is very, very good.
There's too many brown-haired girls, and I don't know who they all are, and I think some of them are all the same person. Is the girl in the AAA meeting? The girl in the AA meeting, and the girl who's the EMS.
That's the same girl. Yeah.
That's the same
his
girl,
sister.
right?
That's Wyatt's sister. Yeah.
Then there's another brown-haired girl who there's too many brown-haired girls.
There's one
in
that
this.
works for the politician, and then there's another one who's the sister of Y, who's also happens to be the daughter of
Her name is
the
Hero.
politician.
Yeah, it is a little confusing. And by the way, if you're having an affair, be an EMS worker. You can have an affair in your ambulance and just park it anywhere.
Just park it
That's a great
anywhere.
idea.
Yeah. And yeah.
But it's so night and go watch these two shows. One is like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. Not that Y is the greatest thing, but it's interesting, cleverly written, good characters, good acting.
In an hour-long episode, it sets up an entire world and an entire story, and you feel interested to go see where it goes. Unlike the other
And I
show,
will
where
say-
you're like, I don't ever want to see where this goes.
Unlike the comic, which kind of worked more backwards, this gives you a sense of who these people are losing, who the women who are going to be left behind. It gives you a sense of who they're losing much more. Okay, and you see the broken relationships, and you see all this kind of stuff happening, and you see these people with their children, and it's. I thought it was done very, very well, and
Some things are a little over the top, but I agree. It was the whole EMS thing. I was like, really?
Well, and unlike LaBrea, and again, spoiler alert, all the men in the world die on the same day. But that didn't happen in the first 90 seconds of the show. They waited until they had set up and established the story before they pulled that off.
The characters, yeah.
Yeah, and you cared about, a bunch of the characters, and you knew who they were when you saw them
and
dropping
other people
dead.
you thought were douchebags and whatever. But it's
right.
but you had a sense that yeah, and
I've only watched the first episode so far. Todd, you probably watched more than that.
No, I actually stopped intentionally on that one because I was actually very happy with where they left it. I liked how they did it, and I liked how where they left it off, and I figured it would be very hard not to talk about where they went from there.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the setup was one thing, and then it's like, oh my god, you're in a whole different situation after that.
Again, it's I think they did a.
Now, and I will say, again, not that it was special effects heavy, but at one point an airplane falls out of the sky and it looked real, unlike everything that happened in LaBrea.
The helicopter falling off the building.
Too. Yeah.
Okay, it looked realer than anything we saw. Than this aggregate of everything we saw falling out of the sky in LaBrea.
Yeah. I would love to know the price per episode for LaBrea versus this, and I guarantee they're not much different.
Really?
I could be wrong. I don't know. But where does Hulu spend more money on stuff? I mean, I don't know how these streaming services pay all the money they pay for the shows they make.
As an example, Hulu just did a price increase, so they're realizing that they're not going to make money at like any other entertainment business. These guys underprice themselves to get off the ground, and then when they start getting subscribers, they realize.
And they also love the idea of the data they're getting. That's sort of super useful for so much other stuff. Let's the bottom line of television is television is here to support commercials. It is not necessarily here for us to have entertainment. That is sort of a result of it.
From a business perspective, that is the business objective. The streaming services have kind of flipped that on their ear. Some of them are ad supported, like Hulu, but you can pay extra to not have ads. And then other ones, like HBO Max and Netflix, they just don't even deal with commercials, at least not yet. Yeah. So,
but they're all about getting data, so they can sell you other stuff.
Yeah. So just to close out, why you guys will watch more?
Yes.
I mean, we're actually jumping in this
though,
one with 6
it's
episodes. It's
not high on my list of things right now. I feel compelled. Like there's other stuff I want to watch first, but I know this will be there, and I'll go back to it.
I will say I need to finish up Evil, which is either just finished or about to finish.
I think the finale either just aired or will be airing. I'm still a few behind.
But this, I'll get caught up with this. I think it's very good. Based on the pilot, okay, and not anything other than the pilot, I'd give this like an 8.5. I think it did everything it needed to do in a pilot. I think you were introduced to all the people that you need to know for this story, but you also got a good slice of their lives, and you saw exactly what they're facing, and there was no hand holding in this thing, and the other thing too is it's very hard to build a show around a protagonist who's kind of a schlub, okay? Yeah. I mean, this guy who, this is, I want to say, I hesitate to say a loser, but
that's the thing. You see him sort of, he's got to step up.
And that's
he borrowed money from his sister to get cheese to make his girlfriend grilled cheese sandwiches so he could propose to her. He's not doing real well.
He's not doing real well, and she didn't take the cheese. So
no.
Yeah.
I'm just reading an article which is interesting. So, set in Los Angeles, where do you think it's filmed?
It's Vancouver.
What? Why the Last Man's got to be in Vancouver?
No, LaBrea. I'm sorry, LaBrea.
Got to be.
It's
Canada.
filmed in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. At a cost of 10 episodes, it's hard to say, over $70 million.
How about the fact
effects-heavy production will spend $71 million on Australia.
I loved how she was looking at the picture on the car and then looked at the hills and goes, "Those are the Hollywood Hills." That was the realization that they're still in California. Just so stupid.
Like I said, the fact that she immediately assumed that they were transported somewhere else, and it could accept that. That was more of a stretch than they're still somewhere in California. It's like, or that was less of a stretch than that they're somewhere in California.
Or how about the fact that the giant rift, which looked like the Nexus, by the way, that they fell out of in the sky, somehow they all landed softly, even though that was 1,000 feet up in the air.
But unconscious.
Well, that was,
you know,
they did that
and again, you look at the vehicles.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have had a story.
The
vehicles were smashed.
The vehicles were smashed, and many non-survivable, but we only saw one dead person being pulled out of a vehicle. So
it was just awful. I don't even want to go back there. Yeah.
Anyway,
so hey, we do this every year. We try out new shows, and these were just two of them were just really bad.
Okay, we're gonna lightning round next.
So you guys want to put a number on?
I'll give it an 8.
I'll give it a 7.5.
Okay, good.
I'll watch it. I'll watch more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Gotta see where it goes. Okay. Let's go what's in the box.
Show you with the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Barry, what's in the box?
I got something from my vintage Star Wars collection. The vintage Dagobah playset. Which came in a box. It's not the greatest box in the world, but I didn't care about the box. I wanted it for the playset. So it's like it's Yoda's hut on one side. It's the cave that Luke fights Vader in on one side. It's got a little pit here that actually this has been replaced. The foam on this has been replaced because it always dry rots and you can't really get one. But there's like a little slit in there so you can have R2 sticking out of the mud.
Oh, that's funny.
You got Yoda's little house there. It's got a little like action feature where you can put a figure in this little loop, and on the other side it's got a tree branch, but it lets you make Luke levitate.
Uh-huh.
And then the other cool feature is the levitating boxes. You push down on the rock,
look at that. Wow.
and the boxes levitate. And it even comes with this little cylinder that I had no idea what it was, but it fits inside the bottom of R2-D2, and you can swap him out with one of these boxes and make R2 levitate.
Wow, look at that. It's
cool
pretty
set.
involved.
Yeah. There's certain vintage Star Wars pieces I'm probably never going to go after because they're just either too expensive or too hard to get. This one, not so much. But getting it complete with all those little pieces and those levitating boxes and this little cylinder, harder to do. So I got this at a decent price from one of the Facebook groups. Happy with it. So another check in the box of trying to build a complete vintage Star Wars collection. Awesome. That's what I got.
Cool.
Todd, what's in the box?
Okay. So, to no surprise to either of you, I bought another bike. Okay. So this is a Specialized Stump Jumper Comp. The one I'm showing you here is not my bike, but it's the exact one I got. I got the last one in my size in New England. The nearest other one in my size is in actually North Carolina. I had to drive to Connecticut to buy it.
Is there a chip shortage on bikes too?
No, it's components. They can't get the pieces.
Yeah.
And there's actually a lot of people with broken bikes who can't get repair parts. And I hit local shops. I figured out what I wanted. I hit local shops. They were telling me like sometime next year, sometime next summer, sometime next fall. And I found this one at a shop in Connecticut. And I drove a little over an hour to get it. And it's fantastic. It's a full suspension bike. I've been riding a hardtail mountain bike, and that works when you ride like a couple hours, every weekend or every other weekend. It does not work when you ride 2 hours a day every single day, which I've been doing at work, and because I'm coaching now. And so I got this. It is the most expensive bike I've ever purchased, but it's amazing. Yeah, which says a lot. And
do you sell the other ones?
Sometimes.
These bikes are like my guitars. They get more and more expensive, and you never get rid of them.
I keep telling myself I'm going to sell them. I have kind of a fixed limit on the number of bikes I will own at a given time. Okay, and now
are you there yet?
I have one over the fixed limit, so I got to part with something to get down to 10. So they're all unique and they all have their own purpose. So anyways.
That's like my guitars.
Yeah, exactly.
Your bike was like my car. I had to drive an hour and a half from my house to find the car I wanted.
This is crazy. I was talking to a dealer in Boston, and again, was not totally clear from the website whether they had it or not. The guy was insisting I come in and going, and finally I said to the guy, I was like ready to go, and I said, "You have this bike." He said, "Well, come on in." It's just like, we're experts at fitting and whatever. He was going to try to sell me a different size bike, and just would not tell me that it's like. And so I did find this place in Farmington, and they were great, and it was a very good experience. The tax on this bike was more than the cost of my first mountain bike. So, yeah. But anyways, it's amazing. I've been riding it a lot for a week and a half now, and very, very pleased with it. But it's it will be a business expense. So.
And you did send me the picture of the very complicated.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing too. Is it would not fit on my old bike rack. So I also had to upgrade my bike rack, and buying a bike rack, which is more than which is crazy money. But that's also amazing. So, anyways, those are my big purchases. And Dave, what do you got?
I have got and I think you guys have seen this, the final component of my chicken skewer display, which, by the way, all the pictures of the stuff we're talking about will be on our Instagram, which is The Regular Joe's Podcast, I think.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Anybody? The Regular Joe's Podcast. So it'll be on our Instagram. We'll show pictures of this stuff. So I have the chicken skewers in their lucite case, acrylic case, and I wanted a picture. So I had this printed in metal.
That's what
I
you
wanted,
did. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I wanted a film format photograph. So this is like widescreen film format. I actually pulled this off of a screen cap, and I was going to print it out and put it in a frame. And I'm like, it'd be cool to have it just not in a frame, so it didn't take away from it. And then, what had I seen? I had seen somebody who I got an Instagram ad of like printing on metal. And then they were very rigid of like 8x10, blah, blah, blah. So then I came across this place, and I'll give them a plug, not sponsored, Bay Photo Lab. They're in San Francisco. They will do they do a lot of printing, but they will do custom metal printing in any size you want. So this is 16 inches by 7 inches. So it's very custom. Then they will, any kind of corner you want. There's 5 different finishes. This is a satin. This is a middle. It's a satin, so there's no glare to it. And then they have a hanger, very much like the Hero. Oh,
that's exactly like the Hero Fied. Yeah.
That's what this is very much like, the Hero Fied prints.
Is that reasonable?
I had a coupon, but the print, the hanger, and shipping, it was like $43.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's ridiculous. I think I had a $25 off coupon.
Dave, I think I want to do the Black Widow movie poster like that.
Oh, that would be cool.
Small, not huge, but
yeah.
But put it on the wall behind the display case.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You could do that. Yeah. So I just sent them a JPEG. Super easy experience, color correcting. And this, the print is great. This totally brings this whole display together. I was gonna put up a digital frame with the movie scene playing of the chicken skewer, and then I was gonna have a couple pictures on it, and then and I will send a picture of the whole display. Final display. It looks amazing. I'm so happy with the way it came out.
It came out great.
Yeah. But this is awesome. I mean, I'm like, what else can I print in metal? And you can see how thick. I mean, this is thick. This is exactly what the Hero Fied prints are. Super happy. If you need printing, Bay Photo Lab, check them out. So, some pictures of that. Okay, moving right along. So there's a bunch of TV shows and some movies coming up. Barry's got a list. He's going to go from what we'll comment briefly on.
Yeah, I'll go quick and just level of excitement for him, I guess, is what you guys should fill in. So I'll start with No Time to Die, which is actually in theaters now. I don't know if you guys are planning on seeing it.
I saw it.
You did, and?
Well, we went to see Mark this weekend, and we always all see James Bond's his thing, so we always see James Bond. So, in between doing stuff up at school or up in Ithaca, where we were staying. We're like, let's just go see a midday movie. Won't be crowded. So I saw it in a huge theater, huge stadium seat theater where there was 20 of us in there, like the 4:00 show. I'm not going to give any spoilers or talk about it. We'll figure out.
Did you guys
I
see
enjoyed it. It's
Shang-Chi yet?
Bond.
No.
I got to see that. I know we all got.
It's on my list here
movies.
for
Did
when
you
it hits
see
Disney Plus. So
Shang-Chi. No.
it's
Yes, that one I
Okay,
saw.
that was, okay. So
But there's a good Bond, totally good Bond.
I was going to
flick.
say we should hit both those films at some point.
Yeah.
all right. So moving right along.
There were trailers though, which were awesome. The freaking Ghostbusters trailer, which I've seen, just the hair on the back of my neck
Yeah.
goes up when you see that.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
awesome.
they showed it at the panel at New York
I heard,
Comic-Con.
yeah.
Yeah.
I heard. Anyway, so
All right.
yes.
All right, so the next thing I have on this list is Dune, which hits HBO Max and theaters October 21st. So
Yep.
not too many, 10 days. So 9 days from
Thrilled
now.
to see that. Happy to see that in my own theater.
me too.
Would I go to the movies to see that? No way.
Yep.
You know what? If COVID had never happened, I'd be at the theater
Me too.
to see it.
I
But,
would. I would.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm happy to watch that
Happy
one
to
at
see
home.
it downstairs.
All right, next one is also a theatrical. Eternals comes out November 5th. I feel like this has been flying under the radar somewhat, but will you
They
go
had
to a
the
theater
trailer.
to see this?
They had the trailer, which I think is the same one I saw. It feels like it's tying into the Marvel Universe. The first teaser felt like it was like this. What does this have to do with anything? I feel like I have to see it in the theater. Well, not that you have any choice. That's the only place
Well,
you can see it.
Or
Or wait till probably January.
Shang-Chi, we didn't go see in the theater, and
I know.
you know, that's the first Marvel movie in years that we haven't gone.
You can still go see it.
I feel like I have to put out the effort to do it. Just find the right
Yeah.
way to do it.
I know the problem is it's just coming up so fast.
Yep.
It's so funny. We literally, so this theater we went to see James Bond in, I went on, I bought tickets in advance. They were seating, literally put ourselves in the exact perfect middle
Oh,
spot.
that's great.
And there were like no one else. As soon as we're in there, 6 people come and sit right behind us. I'm like, are you kidding me? The whole theater's in. I got up and moved. I didn't want to, they were eating, and I'm like, I just don't need you breathing on me.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
All right. So next thing is a TV series. This is the new season of Dexter, November 7th on
Yep.
Showtime. I know Todd and I are both excited about that.
I haven't
Dave is-
seen Dexter, so
Okay,
I
so you're going to skip that one.
Yeah.
All right, it's November 12th. Shang-Chi hits Disney+. I'm actually really excited to finally see it. I feel like at this point I've waited. I might as well wait another, month.
Still another month. Do you need to see it before you see Eternals?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't thinking no, but I don't know.
I don't think so.
Blade Runner Black Lotus, November 13th.
It's animated, right?
Yeah, it's animated.
Yeah. I'll watch one of them.
Todd?
It's tough. Todd's looking up.
No, I'm adding to my list. I'm adding that to my list. I didn't realize that was coming up that quick.
Yeah, November
When is
13th.
it? I'm sorry?
Blade,
November 13th.
November 13th, yeah.
I mean, that's like Blade Runner? You're really messing around with Blade Runner?
It's
with a
fine.
cartoon?
It's
I don't
fine.
know.
It's gonna
I
be
mean,
good.
they did Animatrix, and that wasn't great. But anyway.
I didn't see it.
Okay. Star Trek Discovery Season 4, November 18th. Paramount Plus.
Yep.
Of course, I'll watch it.
The next day, November 19th.
You skip Prodigy, which is the October 28th.
I skipped Prodigy because it doesn't even register on my
You
radar.
have West Side Story and you skip Prodigy.
Well, hang on.
No.
We'll talk about West
I
Side
know.
Story
I'm
when we
joking.
get there. But
I don't think I care about Prodigy. Maybe an episode just to see what it's about.
if
but
it was
I
a
feel
Star
like it's not
Wars
for me.
show for kids, I'd feel compelled to watch it. Star Trek show for kids, I don't feel compelled to watch.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. That's just me. Ghostbusters Afterlife, November 19th.
I'm so excited for that.
That might be the first movie that I go back to a theater to see.
I definitely have to see that. The previews look great. I trust Jason Reitman.
Yeah,
Adam Savage is doing a bunch of stuff on his channel that they literally had him on the set. He knows Jason. He built a ghost pack, proton pack.
He drove the Ecto-1. I saw that video.
Drove the Ecto-1, so there's a lot of content, but it just looks so good. And I feel like it's
And they did
really
a
gonna
panel
be
at New York Comic Con, and as a surprise for all the people at the panel, they showed them the whole movie.
That's crazy.
I know.
And there's supposedly big spoilers in it somewhere. So
Yeah, I know. I'm avoiding everything. Now that here's my problem. I don't think I can see that opening weekend. So I'm going to be away. Well, actually, you're going to be away too, Dave. So.
yeah, I'm seeing it. We're seeing it that
might have
Sunday
to,
night.
We might have to see it Sunday night.
I know that.
And Todd, I don't know if you're going to be away that weekend too. You talked about maybe being away too.
I think we will be. We still got to talk about dates.
Yeah. Okay. So all right. So next up is Hawkeye, November 24th. So
Excited.
easy
Very
one because
excited.
it's Disney Plus and it's at home, and yeah, I'm excited for that too.
But I feel like I just feel like I've been let down every time. I'm hoping there's one that's like, oh my god, this
I'm
was
hoping.
great.
Well, I really liked WandaVision. I'm hoping that this
I
one.
liked WandaVision. It wasn't like, oh my god, this was the greatest thing. But everything else, I mean, some of them it should have been a no-brainer, and they didn't do it. So I'm hoping this is the one.
I liked WandaVision and I liked Loki more than either of you guys did. I'm optimistic about this.
Yeah, me too.
I really think there's been one miss with this. I also liked What If more than you guys did. So
But Captain America and the Winter Soldier should have been the easiest one to
that
get
was
right, and
that
it
was
just
the
wasn't.
that was the easy one and they missed it. So yep.
We'll see.
Well,
And
yeah.
the problem is, it's never been. I'm like, oh, this has got Jeremy Renner, and it's got Haley Steinfeld, who's good. It's not. It hasn't been about the acting. It's just been about the writing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, we'll see.
Excited.
I mean, we've talked about it to death, but the more I've read and the more I hear, it really sounds like they completely had to take a left turn on that when the pandemic hit, because the storyline was about a pandemic and they just didn't want to go there. Maybe that's true.
Not to
Maybe it's
mention-
not.
But they didn't take a left turn. They just steered. They just cut around it, and there's
Whatever it was, it derailed their
yeah.
original plans.
There was multiple ways they could have fixed that, and they just didn't.
Yep.
They just edited it out. So yep.
All right, we're hitting December now. Lost in Space, final season, Netflix, December 1st. I'm actually excited for that. I've enjoyed
I'm
the
excited
first
about
two
that.
seasons
I've
of that.
enjoyed.
Yep.
I have totally.
And there's a trailer out for it. I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys watched it, but the trailer
did.
looks good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looks dark, so
Yeah.
interesting.
All right, here it is. West Side Story. I have it on here. December 10th, only in theaters. Steven Spielberg's reimagining or remaking of whatever. Trust me, I know it's not our genre, but I watched the trailer for this. It looks incredible. Like the camera angles, the cinematography in that trailer. I was really impressed with it. So I won't go to a theater
You've
to
been
see
shut
it.
in too long.
Maybe I won't go to a theater to see it, but somebody else said this, so this isn't my original thought, but like Steven Spielberg has apparently wanted to remake this movie for like 25 years, and he's probably been thinking about every shot in this thing for 25 years, and he finally got a chance to put it on film. And I'm actually interested to see what he did with it, because the trailer I thought looked fantastic. So, okay, moving on. And I only found out today. All right, he's holding up a crystal skull. Maybe I earned that. We'll see.
Not every movie Spielberg makes is great.
Trust me, I know that. He's got good source material to work with. I don't know how he would screw this up.
I mean, I would see it. I'm not going out of my way to see it.
No,
but
I don't know that I'll see it in the theater for sure.
Are you going to
but-
see The House of Gucci that Ridley Scott directed?
No.
That looks like a train wreck. That was another trailer. I saw.
Well, I know this is not a popular opinion on this show, but I think Ridley Scott's had more misses than hits personally. So
I'd have to go through his.
Yeah, I was going to say
to
it's
do
it's
that.
at least on the line. Yep.
yeah. Okay, The Expanse.
G.I. Jane, love it.
G.I.
Anyway, come
Jane,
on.
yeah. The Expanse
I do like
season
G.I.
6, December 10th.
Oh boy,
They just dropped a trailer for this. I
Yes,
don't know if you've seen
watched
it yet.
it today.
Tom, but
It's good.
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
It looks good. It's the final season. It feels like this came up quick. I feel like
No, it was a
maybe
year
I've just
ago.
lost
It's been
track
a
of
year,
time.
It was a year ago.
right?
It's been a year?
It's been a freaking year, though.
Yeah. I'm excited for that. The Expanse hasn't disappointed yet. So, all right, Spider-Man: No Way Home, December 17th. It also feels crazy that there's another Spider-Man movie already coming out.
That's tough. That's a tough one because it's like everyone's going to be seeing that in the theaters. It's a must-see in the theaters
Yeah.
for sure. But I don't know when, or I may have to rent out a theater. I need
But
that
it's-
Plex system that I can get it piped into my house, but I think it starts at $50,000.
Yeah.
But isn't it crazy that, I mean, I know Shang-Chi's out now, but still in theaters, but like 3 Marvel movies between now and the end of the year, all hitting theaters.
Yeah.
Right. And 4 this year, but that's also what they did 2 years ago before they skipped a year.
Yeah,
So,
I know they're closer together than they would have been because of COVID,
but yes.
But it's tough that it's like hard to see them. You wouldn't think twice. Now it's like,
Yeah.
Okay, Matrix 4. I know it's got a name. I don't remember what the name is. So I'm just calling it
Matrix 4,
Resuscitation or
who
something?
cares?
Yeah, December 22nd.
I care.
I
just
care.
I'm excited about that.
And equally excited again.
Because it's at home.
Because I can watch it at home, right?
Yeah.
And it's got maybe it'll redeem the other ones that I have zero idea what happened in them. I just know they were awful. I don't know.
But I sat next to Gina Gershon at the premiere, so
I know you were making out with her.
I wish back then. I don't know. Now maybe not so much. But all right, The King's Man, not The King's Men, The King's Man, which is the prequel.
So
to
that's
The
like a
King's Man.
prequel.
Yep.
Interesting.
December 22nd in theaters. I won't go to a theater to see that,
No,
but
I won't
I'm
go to
interested. I've liked the first
I'd
two.
like to see it.
Yeah.
Those have been good.
Yeah.
First one was better than the second one. It's funny. One of you go finish your list, and
I have two more.
after.
Two more. We
go
talked
ahead.
about Book of Boba Fett already. That's December 29th. And Cobra Kai season 4, I think season 3 or 4.
4.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's 4.
Whatever it is, it's the new season. It's December 31st, so Christmas Day. Or
Yeah.
Christmas Eve. No, New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve. Yeah, duh.
So, 3 that you missed, you probably don't care about.
Moon Knight.
No date yet. Invasion, which is I'm going to check out. It looks interesting.
I mean, I did send this list around earlier today and said, "Tell me what I missed." But okay, please.
I know
tell me what
I
missed
did
now.
this afterwards. Invasion, okay, is October 22nd. So really, and
What's that on?
What is that?
that's
What is that about?
HBO. Exactly, and that's what you will say when you watch the trailer. I will say they're either doing a really good job in the trailer of not showing you something, or that's going to be the premise, and I'm going to get sick of this really quick. Okay, but I think it's an alien invasion thing, and
Okay.
we'll see.
I like alien invasion things.
I'm interested, and I'm gonna try it. You guys don't care. Doctor Who season 13, October 31st.
Who's the doctor
Is
now?
it, wait,
It's still
is it
Jodie
the
Whittaker.
woman?
It's her last
Okay.
I
season.
thought they got rid of
Nope,
her.
it's her last season. This
How many did she
interestingly
do?
looks like there's a story arc for the whole season. So there's a trailer out for
Couldn't
it.
get past one episode, the first episode.
I know. I tried.
I've watched all of it, and yeah, okay. Anyways, so
It's not because she's a woman. I like her. I thought she was good. I don't like your freaking companion.
they changed up the companions. There's going to be 2 companions, and one of the guys is new, and he looks interesting. I've seen him in other things. On November,
I hate to say this. Well, that, I hate to say it, but I feel to me that show became like The Flash. I really was into it for a while, and I loved, a bunch of it, and then I just kind of was like, all right, just kind of.
Yeah, it's
a bunch of it being Clara. Okay, so
after Matt Smith it went downhill. I thought.
yeah, that's I can't disagree with that. But there's been some good stuff since then. But yeah, it's
And I watched all of whoever that other dude is.
Peter
Peter
Capaldi.
Capaldi, I liked. I thought he was good.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't as good.
yeah. So, anyways, we'll see where they go from here. The only other thing is the Wheel of Time on Amazon, which I'm going to check out. So.
So like the
point
Saturday
being,
Mystery Wheel.
Yep.
No, between now and the end of the year, there's just a ton of really.
Oh my
great
God!
stuff
If you
coming.
there's like 14 series that I'm going to at least look at the first episode of.
Yeah,
So-
and a bunch of these shows, we're going to watch all of them. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of good stuff coming, which is why
Yep.
it's harder for me to get sucked into some of this stuff that's crap just because...
Oh, you have time for ghosts.
Like, I can always fit in a half-hour sitcom. I just have to like it.
Yeah.
There's a movie I saw a preview for that I had not heard of called The 355. It's from the people who made Kingsman. and it's about a bunch of female CIA type agents. It looked the trailer looked really good.
That could be interesting.
Again, it's in the theaters. I don't think I'd see it in the theaters, but it's like January 2nd or something like that. So, all right, that was a lot. That was a lot of show, everybody. So thanks for sticking with us.
You got your money's worth this week, people.
You did get your money's worth. Check us out on Instagram to see our pictures. Let us know if you've watched any of this crap. Let us know what you're excited about. Next week, big stuff next week. Right?
Yeah, always. I mean, there's always something good coming around the corner.
Something, I don't know what it is. Okay, anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll be at Rhode Island Comic Con. Let us know if you're going.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, we'd like to see you. We'll be wearing masks. So that's soon. That is definitely soon. Less than a month.
Yeah, it's coming up.
It is coming up.
Looking forward to it. Big time.
Looking forward to it. I hope it's not crowded.
It will be. I mean, come on now.
Not as bad. Remember, we've walked those halls and we're like, where is everybody? There's no one here.
It won't be like
New
that.
York Comic-Con.
It won't be like that.
Compared to having been locked up for the last almost 2 years, it'll feel really crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, tell me about it. Anyway, so check all that out, and thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.